This video is just on my Bimini, so it's for the 2050 Frontier Stabicraft, 20.5 foot boat. I did a lot of research into Biminis because I've had the eBay Biminis on my old boat and nothing wrong with them, it's just so restricting because you've got the poles that come out on huge angles and then you've got the straps, 2 straps front, 2 straps back, and it just creates this cage. You're like fishing in between walls basically. So I didn't put a Bimini on my boat for a fair while, and then I come across this Aussie built one, the Kingfisher Eclipse. So everything I talk about today I'll put links in the description below just so you can check it all out for yourself and whatnot, and you'll see through the video the benefits of this awning. Now they advertise it as a poleless Bimini, so it's got poles at the front where they clip up to the framework, but you can put them down and you can, they call them speed stays, they're just supports. So you can clip them in at the front and there's still no restrictions at the back. So even with them, when I'm sitting on 35, 40 knots, if it's a nice day and I'm punching, or even if you're just on that 25, 30 knots and it's a bit rough, what I found even with the supports out, the whole awning was sort of doing this, and it didn't look like it was breaking it or anything, but I just thought all that extra sway on your mounts, which are bolted to your gunnel, I just didn't want it to, you know, like wreck the gunnel, so to speak, like strip a hole, strip a bolt, tear the gunnel, tear the alley, whatever. So I come up with the idea where I put them 2 extra poles in. You'll see later, I'll do a bit of a run through. 2 little extra supports from, I just got them from like adjustable poles. I changed the ends out. One's got a C-clip that pops up. The other end's got a, like an opening, and you put a little thumb screw through it. And that has just fixed it completely. Like the awning is rock solid. You don't need any supports around it. I still put the front ones down when I'm hammering out to a spot or back to a spot. I'm talking like an hour to an hour and a half punch back to the ramp or out in the reef or whatever. So I still use them, but when you're just moving spots and all your fishing, if you're fishing with the awning up, there's no restrictions. You've got 2 poles on an angle about this, like it's literally 450 centres. Which is in line with my console, so you're not losing any fishing space except this much, which is in line with the console anyway, so I wouldn't fish there. Complete open back, complete open front. Now the awning itself, yeah, like I said, it's Aussie made and it's a lot dearer than just your average Bimini, but the gauge of the alley, the quality of all the fittings, the knuckles and all the bits that you're actually putting on that you're screwing into your boat, they're all quality stainless. Even the canvas, I've just had it modified through a canvas joint, which I'll show you and why I need to do that. So there was a few little things where I feel like they're selling it as this invincible awning, but it's not really. It needs a little tickle up, but I think now it's a very good option if you're in the market for a Bimini and you don't mind paying a bit of extra bucks. The way I thought, I spent that much on this boat, I'm drilling holes into my gunnels. I wanted something that's going to last, you know what I mean, and something where I'm like 6 months down the track I find another one and I'm like, fuck, why didn't I get that one, you know? So I feel like there's nothing, it couldn't be any better. There's nothing restricting me. Full round 360. I've still got a complete open cast deck to cast off of if I wanted to. You can still cast out the back, you know, side cast, do all your jigging, no worries. You've got full north-south with your rod for hooking up. You can fully walk around. Like I said, if for some reason you hooked a monster and you're doing laps around the boat, you've only got to pass your rod past the 2 poles that are at 450 centre, so you got one grab around, if you know what I mean. Anyone that's owned Biminis would know, like, you get that proper run around, you're like, oh yeah, pass it around the strap, then pass it around the pole, and then the other end of the pole's over here, pass it around that, and then you got another strap to deal with. It's just a nightmare. So I'm really happy with this, and this is the reason I'm making a video on it. So yes, so some of the components I bought, like I said, with the two adjustable poles, so you can get Gow ones if you want to cheap out. I got Ali ones, etc. And the two clamps of bolted to my bar work around my console, like the handrail thingy. They were about $70 a pair. They're not ones you find in the shop, like, because they're not your standard. It's a fatter gauge tube, so I had to just order them from some boat warehouse on the internet. And they're a 35 to 38 mil, so they've got a 3 mil shim in it, and the 35's actually, I think it must be about a 34 mil gauge, or it's just over the ones you can buy in the shop anyway, so you'll have to order them online. I'll put a link for that too. And then I changed out the screw for a thumb screw. So yeah, and then with the modifications I've done to it, just strengthening spots where I could see potential weakness further down the track. And yeah, so the reason I got it into the canvas joint was to, when the awning was up, so I put a rod holder down the side of my boat. It's sort of like one of them gunnel clip-on ones, or your under gunnel pocket that slips over, and I've actually bolted it to it and put some straps so they lock in. But I couldn't fit my tool rods under the Bimini when it was up, so like a lot of Biminis, everything you've got originally on your boat suddenly doesn't fit underneath it. So I've got him to put a couple of holes where my whips, my AM, FM and my VHF aerial, because they're sort of on adjustable mounts on the side of my console. So we've measured it up, and so I can poke them through now, and it's as simple as like a PVC flap, and he's done a really good job actually. So I've got them, and then also these zippered pockets, I don't know what you'd call them, just zippered openings, double zipped openings above my rod holder, so all my rods can poke through the top if I've got it up. And so yeah, like, back to the whole Bimini idea, that was my only choice for this boat. I do a lot of top water fishing, well, all lure fishing basically, so a hard top just wasn't an option for me. I want the boat versatile, as in I can go fly fishing, I can go top water, I can have mates, we're all flicking poppers and stick baits and all that sort of stuff, barra fishing. I just didn't want a permanent fixture on the boat. So that's the whole Bimini idea. What else? I think that's about it. Anyway, I'll roll into some footage of setting it up and a closer look at things. Anyway, cheers. Enjoy. Just to give you a closer look with the GoPro, we've got really quality stainless fittings and quick release bars. Here's them brackets I was telling you about that I ordered. They're 35 to 38 mil. They got a 3 mil shim in them, so they fit these well. Change the ends out in these poles, so one screws in, one C clips in. That's the rod holder designer I got. I just put these straps so you can actually lock your rod in and stave them from rattling around. There's the zippered pouches, double zipped. So you put a Velcro strap on that, so when it is fully down, it can Velcro to there and save it flapping around. And then just these one-way flaps here for the aerials to poke up through, then they just Velcro back when not in use. What else? These don't have to be in, they're just, I only use these, they just easily pop back up into position. So I only use them when I'm punching out or punching home. So without these in, without them in, she's still sturdy as a rock. What else? Oh yeah, got a little cup holder here off of Rotec Marine, so you can get all different fittings. They just pop in there. Got all extensions and stuff to hold your sounders, etc. I also got this magnetic phone mount. It's even got the like a Stabicraft S. We only got a couple of rods in there. Zip them up. Oh yeah, so the awning runs on these, easier to show on this side, these quick release thingies. That starts the slide. You can obviously tighten and loosen them, and then they lock in place. So that's really handy. That's the other thing I had. I found a bit of a weak spot. Oh, can you actually see? Yeah, here where these go around the poles. So I've got him to strengthen that and also rivet these. So because when you slid these up, this could potentially sort of slide down the pole. That's on all four corners. When it's packed up, finishes flush with the back there. Still got access into your live well. Still got a decent bench there if you're cutting up bait or whatever you do on that suspended box. So it's pretty well out the way when it's packed up too, not affecting anything. So these are the brackets here. They're a 35 to 38 mil bracket, and I've just changed the bolt out here for a wing nut. Adjustable, easy on, no super peg poles. There, clip in, can't fall off.